Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Pact of the Dual Soul Warlock build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. This is a mod made by Saethos, part of the Khueria complex here. So you got 4 different subclasses and we'll be focusing on the Dual Soul Warlock today. I really enjoy this one because you can swap between both being a mage and being a warrior. So you got a lot of options when it comes to combat. So if you pledge your soul you pledge yourself to the spirit of a mage lost in a fugue plane, which is kind of like limbo before you get into death, as they lend you power in exchange for sharing your physical being with them. Now we get some cool actions. So we get ourselves the soul swap warrior, which lets you change into your warrior soul, which gives you different abilities, and the mage soul. And with this, you got the will breaker cyclone, so you can attack all foes around you, making separate attack rolls. And on hit, they must succeed a wisdom saving throw or become fearful of you, frightened. And they'll have disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls, and can move. In addition, we have, if you're in the mage section, you got the spell sap here, which is a 1d10 necrotic damage, and they must make a wisdom saving throw or take necrotic damage and inflict spell sap and grant yourself the spell sap satiation. I'll be showing off all of this in a combat tutorial near the end. And this is the dual soul. You have advantage on wisdom, charisma, and intelligence saving throws. Now for the pack spells, we can get Armor of Agathis and Absorb Elements. Those are pretty fun, so we'll stick with those there, because our main damage dealer is going to be Eldridge Blast. This mod also shouts out to Saethos for putting the Mistress Spell mod compatibility here. I like to take Booming Blade, which is a nice cantrip. It's a melee weapon attack, and Eldritch Blast is just going to be our main cantrip of choice, although you can also go with Bone Chill there. Now for our ability scores, I think it's going to be best to build around dexterity as well as charisma, so going with 16 dexterity, 14 constitution, 10 intelligence and wisdom, and 16 charisma is going to be the strongest choice for us. And you can take deception here for a skill, because deception is pretty useful. Now I'll also be going over all the gear. I'm using a mod for the weapons because I just think it works really well for this build, so I'll show that off in this video as well, but I'll also show some base game items that you can use for this too. Now once we make ourselves to level 2, also want to mention this is a level 20 build too, so we got level 20 support, which is awesome. Shout out to Saethos for putting that all together. And I think Hellish Rebuke's a nice option we got for damage. Hex can be good too, but this can burn up your spell slots at later levels. That's just the thing with the Warlock. It's a little bit tricky. Thunderous Smite can be a decent one too. This uses your bonus action, however. Now for Eldritch Invocations, it just goes without saying, Agonizing Blast and the Repelling Blast, giving you Charisma modifier to the damage and a 4.5 meters of pushback is just the best choice, so we'll go with that. Now a really cool thing about our Pact Boon, we can actually get 3 attacks while in our Warrior Soul, so we're going to take Pact of the Blade because that's really strong. Pact of the Chain's alright too, but you can get a Quasite without having to use that. And Pact of the Tome just gives okay spells. It's best to go Pact of the Blade here. And for our level 2 spells, Hold Person's a really good choice. Mirror Image can also work. Shatter has decent damage, but I think that Hold Person just makes the most sense here because we can Hold Person and then go in and weapon attack against them. As being of the 2 souls, we got lots of options. Another good spell is Darkness or a Cloud of Daggers. Some people really like to go Cloud of Daggers. And for our level 4 feat, I think it's best to take up a Charisma, and this could be our main weapon attack roll. Now, once we make it to level 5, we get our extra attack, and you're going to love what we get at next level. So yeah, extra attack, really nice. We get a choice in another spell. I like Misty Step, but going high levels in Warlock is kind of a waste in terms of what you get out of it. Can be useful though. Hunger of Hadar is our best choice though. For the Eldritch Invocation, Devil's Sight for the magical darkness vision, which is super useful, especially if you cast darkness, or if you like to hide in darkness. And we get ourselves at level 6 here, the Mage's Talent. So when the Mage Soul is active, you get an additional first and second level spell slot. And you also get, in the Warrior Soul, an extra attack, regardless of your Pact Boon. This does actually work whenever you're playing. It doesn't work in Honor Mode, but it works outside of Honor Mode to give yourself the 3 attacks. Really strong. We also get Spell Slash, so you get the Spell Slash effect, potentially damaging surrounding enemies. And our weapon attack, Eldritch Strike, which basically makes Eldritch Blast into a weapon attack, so it can add force damage to our attacks, only usable in the Warrior Soul. And then we get to pick another spell here, so Summon Shadow Spawn can be pretty fun. Spirit Guardian is also really nice, especially if you go up close to the enemy. Sonic Blast is another fun one as well, but typically once we get to higher levels, we're just going to be using those spells. So once we get ourselves to level 7 here, Ralutham's Psychic Lance is a great choice because the psychic damage is huge. Mr. Spells just works really well on this. Now, if you got the expanded Warlock Invocations here, Eldritch Spear is the greatest choice. Doubles the range of your Eldritch Blast, so you can hit people from really far away. But otherwise, beguiling influence is a good choice. You really can go with whatever you want here. It's your personal pick, whatever you find most fun. But if you got expanded warlock spells or expanded invocations, it's fun too. Now, once we get ourselves here, we got a couple big options. Like we got the Sonic Blast here, which can knock targets prone, which is really nice. We also got ourselves like the Elemental Bane, which we can first time each turn a target takes damage with a chosen type, they take an additional 2d6 of that damage. So that can be pretty fun. We also got Summon Greater Demon. Does require concentration, however. But level 8, we'll take our charisma all the way up to 20. This is perfect. Great for this time in the game. At level 9, we get ourselves a better spell with ones like Infernal Calling, which will give us the Summon Forth the Devil from the 9 Hells. I also really like Synaptic Static. We have the Banishing Smite melee too, which is part of this. Hold Monster, another great spell. Macabre Explosion. I just really like the Synaptic Static as the psychic damage is extremely powerful. And we also get Minions of Chaos, so we can conjure up a elemental. Very useful. At level 10, we have the Warrior's Tenacity. So whenever you're in your Warrior Soul, you get temporary health points equal to your Warlock level. This also gives you a +2 to armor class. Really nice. And if you're in the Mage, you get additional 3 and 4 level spells. So that's also really nice. We get ourselves another cantrip choice. You could go with Green Flame Blade, Sword Burst, Psychic or Mind Sliver, any of these choices you find fun, or just Bone Chill, Minor Illusion, Mage Hand, those classic ones. And once we get into our next level spells, you got choices like Greater Restoration, but even Banishing Smite is really useful to have. This does use your bonus action, and it deals quite a bit of damage. It's like a 5th level smite, which is fun. Infernal Calling can be good too, because hey, more summons the better. And there's ways to kind of cheese a couple more extra summons, which I'll show you. Now, at level, once we get to level 11, we get our Mystic Arcanum, and I love Circle of Death. Very strong spell. But we can also take Psychic Crush or the Conjure Fey if you got the Mistress Spell mod. And once we make it up to this level, I think it's still best to just go with Hold Person, because we don't get level 6 spells, unfortunately, outside of the Mystic Arcanum. At level 12, we get one of the best Eldritch Invocations with Life Drinker. So this will add packed damage equal to your Charisma modifier on your packed weapon as Necrotic, which is fun, just extra damage. Always a nice thing. And now we're at the point where we're just grabbing spells that we want to take because we got pretty much everything we need. And for this next level, I think that going with the Alert feat can be pretty nice. Or you can go with a Dexterity improvement for better armor class and Initiative. We're going to get a lot of feats, so you can really take what you want. Now, for our next level, I think Psychic Crush is a good choice. Overload a creature's mind, 12d6 psychic damage. That's strong. And we can pick another level spell here. Macabre Explosion can be pretty fun. Just explode a corpse. You know the deal. It's fun. Once we make it to level 14, we get the Shared Life Force. When you drop to 0 health points, instead you heal for 3 to 24, 3d8. And then we also get the Soul Sunder, which is 8d8 psychic damage. An enemy of your choice must make a Wisdom saving throw or take 8 to 64 psychic and become incapacitated for a turn. Technically 2, but it's the way turns work in this game. That's why it says 2 at the bottom. And they take half damage on a successful save. And then we also have Soul Burst, so all enemies around you must make a Strength saving throw or be knocked 6 meters away from you and become slowed until the end of the next turn as a bonus action. So really good. It's powerful. And then we can go with another level spell. Innervation's fine. Counterspell is good, but we don't have many spell slots to use on that unless we're in the mage form. And even then, that's only 2. Now for our final Mystic Arcanum, Conjure Fey. Great choice because that gives us a summon, but you can also go with the Create Undead. And then for our next leveled spell, Spirit Shroud, I guess. We're really got what we wanted already. And we get more Eldritch Invocations here, so we can go with like the Lanthal Lethargy, which will reduce their movement speed. Improved Packed Weapon, when your Packed Weapon gets a +1 enhancement. And Eldritch Smite is a nice one too, which gives us basically smite damage. It's force at damage added on top, does use a spell slots, however. And for our next leveled spell, again, we got what we want already. Counterspell can be an okay one. And we'll go with either the Alert feat, we can go with the Savage Attacker, rerolling damage dies, or even a Dexterity improvement again. It's up to you. There's a few other feats you could go with if you want something a little bit different. I guess we got ourselves another Mystic Arcanum here. Eye Bite can be nice to put a creature to sleep. True Seeing, it's interesting. Crimson Leash, you have to be bleeding to be able to make the most of that. It's from the Blood Sorcerer mod. Create Undead's pretty fun though. I guess we can go with that. Arcane Gate, another choice, but it requires concentration. And then for our next leveled spell, I guess we'll just go with Summon Shadow Spawn. We already got everything we want, and we have limited spell slots, but I want to get the level 20 capstone here. Next level spell, Shadow of Moil. And I guess for this next one, we can go with Trickster's Escape could be a fun one. You really got so many options here. Lance of Lethargy to reduce movement speed. Makes it like Eldridge Blast becomes like Ray of Frost. Level 19, we're one away from our next level, and we'll just take Summon Greater Demon. And for our final feat, I think we'll take our Dexterity up to 20. This will give us the best armor class possible. And at level 20, we get ourselves the Eldritch Master. While not in combat, you draw on your inner reserve of mythical power, while entreating your patron to regain all expended spell slots. Once you regain spell slots with this feature, you must finish a long rest before doing it again. So yeah, very, very fun because we got to bounce between 2 different souls. We got 4 level 5 spell slots. We can go into our different souls here. So we'll go into the warrior soul here just to start off our combat. Now for gear, I'm using the cataclysmic sword and the winterblade sword just for this, just to show it off. But I actually think it's best to go with a few other options. Like we could also go with Baldur Alluve here, level 1 or Act 1, one of the best choices. And also if you got Evil Shadowheart, the Sharp Spear of Evening can be really nice for the darkness that you can set up. Because with that darkness, you're able to hide in it. And we already have the ability to see through darkness, so don't have to really worry about that. But I guess I have my packed weapon, so it's not letting me disengage that. Yeah, we can also go with something like, I have a bunch of mods installed at the moment, but Sacred Star could even be a fun one if you wanted to. Anything that you find enjoyable, like Sword of Chaos could potentially heal you for up to 18 health. So that's another choice you can go with. Sort of life stealing potentially. I think that the Sharp Spear of the Evening just gives us a nice ability to play around with darkness. Nirelna works too, and the Infernal Rapier is another good choice. However, I want to show off another little trick that we got, so we can take the Staff of Spell Power here, and we're just going to be able to summon in some of our more costly abilities, like whenever we have ourselves the Conjure Elemental, we can summon in one for free. So you have the Air, Earth, or Water Elemental. Water's typically the best, but we're going to go with the Earth Elemental here. And then on top of this, we also got our Conjure Fae, so we can summon in a Dust Hag or a Greater Redcap. This is from Mistress Spells. We'll summon in the Hag. Just fits with this build pretty well. We also got ourselves the Quasit if you got that. And we can go ahead and equip Marka Heshker too. And Marka Heshker also has a free cast. You could also use Marka Heshker as your staff if you wanted to. But this extra free cast is really nice too. We can't use Summon Greater Demon because that does cost us a concentration. We got the Infernal Calling, which will give us the Cambion or American Legion. I'll pop that one in. It's a cool looking character. So yeah, we got that here as well. And we got a little squad of attackers. Those are the 2 that we got there. And then again, we're just gonna run back and give ourselves the Sharp Spear of the Evening. And for our armor, I think it's best to go with Evasive Shoes, the Helldesk Gloves to increase your spell save DC and fire damage. I went with the Death Mage robes here. There's a few other ones, but this obviously isn't what I'm going to be using. I think they're the best choice. If we're going to go melee focused, is probably the Ballast Armor. So we can go with that there. I'm just trying to find it. I have a bunch of mods installed. There we go. Because this will give us the armor class with a shield of 26, which is really good for a Warlock. Mask of Soul Perception and the Cloak Protection. Their Sweetheart, Ring of Protection, and Amulet of Greater Health. So, Infernal Control, we got to leave here right now before they start freaking out. And we'll just get into a combat encounter just to show off what this can do. Uh-oh, they're starting to fail their saves. So I guess we'll start off with a big old Synaptic Static just because the damage of this is pretty crazy. And let's get into a fight before our Americans go against us because they have to roll a Charisma save or else they go crazy and attack. So I also applied haste just to show this off. I guess I probably should have done Pact of the Blade so that you guys could see we can't do this inside of combat. That was my mistake. We should always have that applied for those 3 attacks, but we can also go into our Mage Soul if we need to. So that's a nice option that we also got. So we can soul swap here, and this will give us additional spells to mess around with, which is great. And then we can go ahead here. I'll go with the Circle of Death. Should be a big blast there. And I got Psionic Backlash, or I got Counterspelled, of course I did. They didn't want to get blasted with that, so that sucks. I guess that's it for my turn there, and we'll just let them roll at us. With our Hag Summon, we can also put a target to sleep, which is quite nice. So we can just sleep someone, and then we got some special attacks to use against them. And then our Americans also have like the knockback arrows, which are pretty nice. So if you can line this up perfectly, you can actually knock them right off ledges. He saved on it. That's okay. So we can follow up with a crossbow attack too. So yeah, these are pretty useful. You got that mod, because yeah, you got the potential to knock the right to their death, so that can be pretty fun. Hopefully we can hit him with that. Nope, he's saved on it. And then we'll just follow it up with a follow-up attack, and that should take him out. Weird, then strike. Oh, there we go. Strange. So since we missed it in our large circle of death, I'm going to follow up with another synaptic static here and try to take out these three. It breaks my previous concentration. Of course it gets counterspelled, but that's why we have multiple actions, so I can do it again and take out that counterspell that took away my spell slots. So yeah, that was good. We gave them the synaptic static, and we're out of actions, but we got the spell slash, so we can use this, potentially damage nearby targets. So we'll just roll with that. Spell slash, and I guess we'll wait for our next turn. So yeah, we got ourselves charmed, as well as a nice backup if we get countered often. Nice way to kind of stop that from happening. And we'll try to get in with a roaring arrow as well. Yes, we finally knocked them off the ledge. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do, and I finally accomplished that. So some of these summons are really nice just for that effect alone, because it's so funny being able to just delete someone off of the out of the battle just by knocking them away. So that's exactly what we've tried to accomplish with that. Also, you can push them into your Eldridge Blast, or push them into your Hunger of Hadar that way too, so pretty useful for that. Our Earth Elementals are pretty nice tank too, because you can use this to also push targets into your Hunger of Hadar, so that is pretty nice, and it can warp around, drawing aggro to different areas. Now the Macabre Explosion here is really nice for hitting in a large area of effect if you need one of those spells to just be able to wipe out a number of enemies at once. Sometimes you can get lucky and line this up so that it hits multiple targets, but we'll roll with this for right now. That was pretty good. We broke their concentration with that, so that's exactly what we wanted. And then we can use their corpse as another explosion, and you can line it up so it doesn't hit yourself too, so that's even better. And yeah, that took out a couple more of them, so perfect. That was a good turn. And then we can follow up with a Mind Blast as well if you got the Illithid ability. Unfortunately, I'll have to attack my little summon there. Or I guess they don't get hit by Mind Blast because they don't have a mind. But that was another one taken out. Pretty effective turn there as a caster. We still have all of our full spell slots too. So I'll show off the Spell Sap here, which actually scales up in level. So we can blast them with that there. And we hit them with it. So we got ourselves a Spell Sap Satiation. Give us a +2 to our Charisma. And Spell Sap cannot be used using Will Breaker Cyclone. We'll remove the status there. That's the Spell Sap Exhausted. Spell Slash Recoil. Spell Slash cannot be used. Eldritch Slash will remove this. So yeah, we got a few different options. We got also Soul Sunder here, so we could hit him with that, and that does a lot of damage. Boom, 70 Psychic, took him out. And that is the Dual Soul Warlock by Saethos in the Khueria Collection mod. So go check that out if you want to see more of this. I'll be covering their other subclasses. And also, Saethos is in my Discord server. Link is in the description, so you can join that as well if you want to shout him out or give him some thanks for this awesome mod. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video.